So one of the ideas that Donald Trump has been floating around for a very long time now is this idea that we need to take control over Greenland and make Greenland a state in the United States. Now, I know what you're thinking. One, that sounds crazy, and then that's probably because it actually is pretty crazy. But you got to be asking yourself two questions when you think about this. One, what is the intent behind this? Why exactly are we trying to take over Greenland? And then two, how the actual hell are we going to take over Greenland? These are very, very tough questions to answer and tough questions to justify. And so one of the things that we're going to be looking at here is the actual rationale behind Trump himself. He says that we need Greenland for national security. You don't have to take my word for it. We can actually watch the clip right here, and then we'll react to it. So let me play that for you guys here.
Comes through Mexico.
Thank you, sir. You've named Governor Landry to be new special envoy to Greenland.
Yeah.
What do you see that role entailing? And is it still your intention that
Well, he
Greenland
called
become
me,
part
and
of the U.S.?
he viewed Louisiana, the Louisiana Purchase. He said, "I'm governor of Louisiana," and he said, "I would love." I didn't call him; he called me. He's very proactive. He's a great guy. He's a deal guy. He's a deal maker type guy, and we need it for national protection. We need Greenland for national protection. They have a very small population, and I don't know. They say Denmark, but Denmark has spent no money. They have no military protection. They say that Denmark was there 300 years ago or something with a boat. Well, we were there with boats too, I'm sure. So we'll come through.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We need Greenland for national protection. Right? This is the matter of the president's own words. As if Greenland is not a NATO ally, as if Greenland is this country that is somehow being very provocative towards the United States, as if we haven't had a great relationship with Greenland. This is essentially a man who just wants this territory just to have it. He's sort of using it under the guise of national protection. Now, I think that there's obviously a couple ways you go about it. So now we got the why. We understand why Trump wants Greenland. At least that's the reason he's putting forth to the American people. Now, the question is, how exactly are we going to get Greenland? I think that's what we have to be very concerned with here, because to me, this is not something that you can just buy. Because I can't imagine that what would you call people from Greenland? I don't know, but people from Greenland, I can't imagine that they're going to want to sell their country, as if they even had the ability to do so. Nor would I imagine they'd actually vote to join the United States. I can't imagine that there's many Western countries out there that would actually vote to join us. That's for sure. Especially given all the crap that we got going on here. I mean, this is the only modernized country in the world that does not have universal health care, for example. So, I mean, I don't really think people are necessarily, itching to come on over to the United States from Greenland. And then also, too, in addition to that, you could say, okay, well, if they're not going to, sort of just, sell it to us, which is, I don't even think that's possible, really. And you can say, and they're not just going to vote to join the Union, through their democratic means. What does that mean? It means we're going to have to take them over. We're going to have to actually attack Greenland. And it's very interesting. And then you could say, okay, well, what constitutes an attack? Because, if this is a NATO ally here, right, and we attack Greenland, it's like, okay, well, now we got to fight a whole bunch of countries as opposed to just one. So you could say, okay, well, that's probably not a good idea. But then you could say, okay, well, what if we apply economic pressure to him, such as through Trump's tariffs, to them through Trump's tariffs? Ooh, now we're getting more into the realm of realism, ladies and gentlemen, because this is something that is not foreign to Donald Trump at all. This is the tariff mastermind here, the man who raises the prices of all U.S. products, right, just to screw over the citizens of his own country, just so he can, sort of save some face here. I mean, we obviously know. I mean, tariffs are literally a de facto tax on Americans, and that's literally like, this is something that Ben Shapiro would say. This is not something that even just I would say, right? I remember years ago watching Ben Shapiro say that. And I'm sure if you look through the hundreds of thousands of hours of clips of him, you can probably find him saying that. But this is not a good thing, right? There's really no justifiable reason to sort of impose these tariffs, right? Unless you're going to be really trying to attack a country unnecessarily. And one of the things you got to be thinking about too is like, okay, well, why? So let's say we start, attacking Greenland, financially. We're really just trying to put the pressure on them, just really destroy Greenland, right? I mean, I think some of these things, if it got to the point, if I were Greenland, I would take this as like a declaration of war. To them, this is not just like a real estate transaction here. This would be attempted seizure of territory of a democratic partner. This is an act of imperial aggression that does not belong in the 21st century here. This is something that we need to leave behind, especially with countries like Greenland. I mean, at least that's what I think most people would think of. And I think sometimes you could say, okay, was it a little isolationist to not want to take over foreign countries? And it's like, I don't know. How about it's just the right thing to do is not just, wage war on foreign countries to destroy the lives of people there, even if you're not going to put troops on the ground. I don't know. I mean, I think that seems fair to me to say that we probably should be avoiding that. I don't know. Jesus, oh my God, it's so crazy to me that stuff like this can go on. And, you could say, okay, well, if you wanted a security presence there in that region, it's like, you don't need to play risk with human lives. You can negotiate bases, right, in these countries, right? You can sign treaties with these countries, right? You can work through NATO. And, there's about, 50 steps between we have strategic interest here and then the let's go full metal jacket on Denmark. Or let's go crazy here on Greenland, or whatever Nordic country you decide to pick on. This is just ridiculous here, guys. I mean, honestly, I've been seeing this go around for years now, and I always thought it was the craziest thing. And it's like, yeah, would it be cool to own Greenland? Sure. I mean, if they sold it to us or if they voted to come on in here, it's like, but we can't just go attacking them for no reason, because you want to think about it this way. What if Canada, for example, is like, wow, look at those Americans over there. Wouldn't it be great if we just got rid of them for national security interests, and then Canada starts waging war on the United States? I mean, think about how crazy that sounds, guys. No, that's not something that probably should happen, that you would want to see happen. And so, put yourselves in the shoes of the person who would be being attacked. I think that's probably the best thing that you can do. But it's not good. It's not good at all, and it's something that we probably should not be taking lightly here, guys. Not taking lightly. It's not the plan that I think we all think it would be. This wouldn't necessarily be a peaceful transition. I don't think. But yeah, with that said, guys, hopefully you did enjoy the video here. I don't really got much more to say. You can check out the odds on Polymarket and stuff, and just see what are the odds that they take over Greenland. I know they've been the odds are essentially zero, or that the United States would have Greenland by the end of the year. And now that year's coming to a close, and that was months ago when I looked at those odds. But I still think even for the next year, the odds of that happening is literally zero. And if it did happen, oh my God, help us. So with that said, guys, my name's Dr. Ian Phillips. If you guys did enjoy, hit that subscribe and try to get us to 400 subscribers. And I appreciate you so much for watching. Have a great day.